Hello guys, I'm Kobna.
And I'm Lux.
And we have returned with Talkthrough. And we want to follow up on a game we covered 18 months ago. Something like
Wasn't
that.
it actually our first talkthrough?
May well be. I don't know.
No.
But if you keep talking, I will investigate.
And we just wanted to give an update and kind of explain what state the game's in and what's happened recently and when it will release. I actually think is one of the good things we could talk about. We don't know for sure.
There's not a date.
No
but
date. There's more of a timeline.
There's a timeline. And there's they have been pretty clear about what they want to reach in this year and what they reached last year. It was in. I'm trying to find it.
Well, I think it was our first talkthrough. That's not the important thing. No.
It was our first talkthrough, and it was July last year. So
it's been quite some time.
Yeah, July 2016.
And we had some thoughts about the game back then. I was a bit more skeptic than you were.
Indeed.
And you've actually purchased the game after.
I've bought like the you can pre-purchase.
Yeah, the basic pledge.
The basic pledge, yeah. I think it's called Elyria.
Yeah.
It's called just Elyria. And then it's just you get access to the game. You get access to the game, and I think you get one spark of life, which is basically the
subscription thingy, right?
No, the character. Yeah. You get one character creation. And then some forum, a badge, something.
Yeah, that's fine.
Not important.
So it's actually wallpaper. Yeah, and it's actually an important thing to state that you've bought the game because you kind of.
I'm not a big thing. I'm not a big fan of the pre-purchase.
No, and you're kind of affiliated with the game now.
Indeed, I actually get special emails and stuff like telling it's called dev journals. I think they come out to everyone, but I think we get them like two or 3 days in advance. There's just like an update of where are we, what has happened the last month or so. It usually comes out every month.
Should we dive into what's actually happened?
Yeah, because I think 5 days ago they came out with like the big developer journal for 2017.
Kind of like what they did in 2017
and what they're gonna do in 2018. And where is the game now? As of now, Soulbound Studio, which is the studio creating it, is kind of pulling all their attention to finishing the first alpha, and that has been split up into seven phases. 7 phases, where each of them will be implementing some new features and stuff.
Yeah.
And the first phase actually is done. It was called the Friends and Family, where it was like the close.
Relative and close friends.
Yeah, the closed circle.
It's quite normal.
Soulbound Studios that were like got into the game.
Yeah, they want to stress test and such.
Yeah. I don't know. Should we maybe go through all 7? Just like a quick scan of them.
We'll put the picture up.
Yeah. Can you actually? We can't even fit them in one picture.
It's fine.
Doesn't matter. So release 2, it will be character creation, equipment, inventory, survival mechanics, world interaction, and world building. And then
so that's actually quite a big thing.
That's a big thing. I think that's like
seems like the basics of the game.
Yeah, the very basics. And then they said actually world building in parentheses they have now said procedural. So that's something I think it also comes in release 3. So that's something that'll like slowly be implemented. Release 3 will then be communication. I guess that's like chat, how you communicate with other players. Combat, again, how you fight other players. Crafting, environment.
And that was one of the big things. Crafting and combat was 2 of their main points.
Yeah, we talked about it in our first playthrough. And I think they're still pretty adamant about it. That almost every crafting profession skill will have like a mini game.
Yeah, it's gonna be skill based and not from just gaining points.
Just like clicking on a button. Then it'll also have environment, identities, skills, again, world interaction and world building.
So there's quite a lot.
That's quite a lot, and I also think like the idea of the Alpha 1 is that is the basic game. But then what will happen after that is basically bug fixing, and
polishing. Such.
Yeah. Release 4, AI, animals and creatures will be implemented, NPCs will be implemented, and again combat will be implemented, crafting will be implemented. But then we get contracts, which is also a big thing. I don't know actually if we discussed that.
I don't think so.
But
it's something like you can do marriage contracts, and you can do, I think, something like mercenary contracts and things like that.
Housing contracts.
So
I think a contract is going to be a big thing that you actually need to have written agreements with other players and build up a trust through contracts. Then ecology. I'm honestly not sure what they mean by that.
I think it's something like, the different plants in the world, and the nature and such.
And then also, which is one of the things that actually got me drawn very much into it, the life cycle. The fact that your character actually is but will die.
Yeah, and that's actually one of the things I'm very skeptic of.
You said that.
Yeah, because, I've been playing World of Warcraft for quite some time.
And you have a character that
and I have a character
to.
Yeah, and I've had that character since I was 12.
Yeah.
For about 11 or 12 years now.
Yeah.
And I'm just really connected to that character.
Yeah. But I think, first of all, I don't think we need to get into this discussion because I think we had it last time. But the basic argument I think I'll make on Soulbound Studios on behalf of them is that you don't need to get created attached to the character, but the family.
But the family, and I totally understand.
So it is, and also I think they actually said it's not even. I think many would call it an MMORPG, but it is not. And it's actually one of the first things they say that Chronicles of Elyria is a multiplayer evolving online world. A meow, which is just. I mean, you couldn't have a better name for the internet,
No, you really couldn't.
So I think. A lot of people are gonna go into this expecting an MMORPG and actually are gonna be disappointed.
Yeah, that's one of the big things we discussed before. There aren't any classes, and magic isn't a big thing in the world. It still exists.
Yeah.
It's not the classic Lord of the Rings, World of Warcraft setting.
I am very excited to see how they implement that because the fact that thing about it's not really a thing, but it sort of is a thing.
It's very low fantasy.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how they are gonna make that happen because I think there's a lot of people playing this that will be like stubborn, like, no,
I want
magic, and then everyone is just gonna.
That's
go
me.
Yeah. And I think I could easily imagine that like 30 or 40% would be like that. Like I want magic. I want to have magic. I want to be able to contain it. So it's going to be interesting to see how they're going to keep like the majority of the people away from magic.
It's actually really interesting because this is one of the things I think again we discussed this last time, but they said something like only 5% of the players will be able to wield magic.
At least according to
what the developers have said. And I think that's really interesting because that's kind of like going back to the roots of the MMORPG tropes where you have these items which are really rare. Like legendaries in WoW, or things like that. It's something that it's going to be really hard to obtain, but it's going to be very fulfilling to get it. And something like you can't really say that's a thing anymore in WoW because of the legendary system. It's something we've gone away from in the MMORPG genre. Yeah. So it's actually really interesting. It's quite a gamble.
It's one of the many things that are a gamble with this game.
You can just say it's the thing we're creating content, but only 5% of the players are actually going to
see it. Yeah.
But again, those players are really going to be interested.
Yeah.
So let's delve into what we actually came to talk about.
Yeah. There's actually a couple more releases, but we'll just pop them up in the picture and then.
Yeah, that's fine. You can read further.
Yeah. So what 2017 was about for Soulbound Studios was to create the back end of the game, the back end server. And as I think his name is, I can't remember his name. That's kind of embarrassing.
Doesn't really matter.
No, I think it matters. Caspian. He is the
lead developer.
He's the lead developer. He's the boss.
He's the boss man.
He's the boss man, big boss man. He wrote, the backend server is responsible for managing the entire state of the game, performing all necessary computations, for systems like AI, physics, pathfinding, and combat, and for receiving and processing all the input for, in the case of Chronicles of Elyria, hundreds of thousands of connected clients. So this is like the platform. They have, I would say, they have completed the platform.
Yeah, and one of the big things they talk about is how they had this operating system called Spatial OS.
Yeah, which was compatible with Unreal Engine, which is...
Yeah, I think so. And they also talked about it actually being compatible with Java for a long time, which they used. And then
it fucked up.
Then it updated and wasn't compatible with Java anymore.
Yeah, so
they had to create their own engine.
Yeah.
And that was one of the big things here in 2017.
Yeah, and that's... So now they run on their... I said own created engine, which is called the Soulbound engine, which
Soulbound.
Soulbound? I think it's Soul. I mean, it's Soulbound Studios.
Oh,
so I would say Soulbound. I know I said Soulbound earlier.
I can't remember.
One of the two.
Yeah. It's their own engine.
Yeah. So yeah, they have actually built the platform, and they are now going to like create the game and focus more on the gameplay in 2018, which is pretty much what the releases are about. Is that they're gonna implement more and more of the gameplay as the year develops. As of when the alpha will be out, there wasn't
Is there either going to be there's not going to be an open alpha, but
there's going to be an alpha,
yeah, but not open, I guess. It's for the people who actually
bought the game.
Yeah, and for quite the price, I guess. Are you going to be in the alpha?
No. Far off it, I think.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, it says that it should be in like the first trimester of 2018. So
yeah, the first quarter.
No, trimester.
Oh, well.
So that's like to March.
Yeah, but
end of March is the deadline.
It's the same as a quarter. That's the first 3 months.
What's a trimester? Oh, then it's April. It's like trimester is like a month, the year divided into 3. So it's
makes sense.
End of April. It's the end of April. It's like the deadline.
You know, it's just usually people are talking about Q1, Q2 in game development. So that's what I thought, but I guess not.
I mean, it could possibly be Q2. I think it's just trimester because T1, as they say, because they are not really sure.
No, it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. Fine. I want you to put in from the in-betweeners where what's the lead character's name? He's not called Simon. Will.
Actually
fine. Fucking fine. I want that.
Fine. Fucking fine.
All right. So what are we? As of gameplay, they actually had shown a bit, and the big demo at PAX West was like a. I don't know if you've seen it.
It was a jousting tournament.
It was a jousting tournament, but did you see it?
No,
it was actually very, very impressive.
Yeah, people told it was quite visual and brutal.
It was visual, it was brutal, but it ran smooth. There were no bugs, nothing, and that was just impressive to see that even before the Alpha 1,
they actually had something.
And they have a game that wasn't buggy, it didn't crash, it didn't any of that. So it seems like this platform they're talking about actually is solid.
But it was quite a contained experience.
It was a contained experience.
It's kind of like saying, you know, do you remember the big debacle of the first Watch Dogs game? It looked fantastic at E3.
Yeah.
Because it was contained and it was something that was scripted and and then when the game actually came out, it looked like dog shit compared to the trailer.
Okay.
So it's just to say that when you're actually showing things on the show floor.
Yeah, but that was E3 the year before it released. Am I right?
Something like that.
Yeah. This is PAX. I would say at least 2 years.
I'm just trying to say that things that are shown at these conventions
they
are literally they're polished and
no doubt.
It's not a direct
no doubt
look at the game.
No. But
that's just what I
actually what I was going to say is it actually got nominated for a prize.
Something like they were beaten by the Elder Scrolls Online or something.
Oh, that doesn't matter. They were at PAX West. They were nominated for some sort of prize for best demo. They didn't win, as you said.
I think they lost to Elder Scrolls.
Okay, that's a pretty decent
competitor.
Yeah, to lose to. I mean, I wouldn't be ashamed about that.
No,
but that also just shows that they showed a product that was actually pretty noteworthy.
And they're doing quite well. I actually read something about their Discord chat.
Yeah,
had 30% of the members that the World of Warcraft Discord chat had.
Yeah,
that's quite good.
So it is, and they have also said that throughout many of their developer journals and their Q&As in there that they have like a small audience as of an MMORPG or a Meow multiplayer evolving online. But it's very.
You just forgot the world.
Yeah, the world. But that small base is very, very passionate about the game. And there's also, I mean, I was invited to a Discord because I chose a kingdom for some pre-game.
You can't remember. Yeah, that's fine.
I'm gonna open my Discord now. Because I'm still a member of it. But it's just it's these alliances and kingdoms already starting to form, and I would say it's at least a year and a half before the actual game comes out. So that's quite impressive.
They even have a picture of the world map where they actually show where the kingdoms are.
Yeah.
And which areas the kingdoms kind of have
border
borders. And also they've actually have. It's quite interesting. They wrote something like, we have a proposed kingdom. What do you call it?
I don't know.
They're kind of dividing the kingdoms between the tribes.
Yeah.
But it wasn't anything like, this is how the tribes have the kingdoms. They were like, what do you think of this? To what do you call it? The fans and the people who bought the game.
They engage with the
audience, which was quite interesting. They weren't like, well, this tribe has this land. They were like, what do you think about this?
Yeah.
Do you actually like this?
I think that's a good thing to do when you are crowdfunded. That actually people get a say. And
indeed.
Just a quick update on their crowdfund. They actually have a shop open, which now has downgraded a bit because all the kingdoms, which were priced at, I think
several $1,000s, right?
$5,000 I think was the largest one, which is absolutely insane. They've all been bought.
But then you were the king of a kingdom.
Then you actually had a kingdom. I think,
and there's only 7 of those.
Yeah. So it's also, you get a lot for it. But as of last recording, so that's also 18 months ago, I think they had 2.8 million. Now they had 3.6.
It's also quite important to state, this wasn't anything we addressed in our last video, but they got another Kickstarter, which was quite controversial.
That was bad.
Because they actually, they said we can make the game for this amount of money, and then they came back and said, no, we actually can't.
I actually also, that was before I even bought it. I bought it after the second Kickstarter. But when I saw that, I think you sent a link to me or something. I was like, okay, so this is another Star Citizen, or what's it called?
People, Star Citizens.
So this is gonna happen. They're gonna get more money, and then they're gonna have more goals to fill, and it's gonna be.
It's just gonna keep rolling, and it's never gonna finish.
Snowball just rolling. But it actually, this developer journal, which we will also link below, so you can read it. Actually shows quite a lot of progress.
Indeed.
And sort of not shows us, but gives a hint of the end goal is on the horizon.
Indeed.
Not near, but we're getting to it.
Yeah. Anything else to talk about?
I mean, we can also talk about the Vox Elyria, which was the.
Yeah, that's something that we didn't address the last time, because that's something new.
That's something new. Yeah. So that was a pre-alpha where they put in Minecraft blocks, voxel based characters into the engine world, because I don't think it actually was a world as of that time. but just to see how they interacted with each other and reading.
And isn't it something like they've actually begun building the hierarchy of the kingdoms with the king and the royal family and the aristocrats and all these things?
Yeah.
They've actually started this progress, right?
Yeah, they have, and I think the first big release for 18 will be that you can actually go in and create your own character on the website. Can you just imagine playing Chronicles of Elyria and you live in the Third Kingdom or something, and you're under the reign of Slutfucker 13. King Slutfucker 13. But I actually think that they have like a... Oh my god. Our gracious lord, Slutfucker 13. Slutfucker 13, yep. That's our guy.
Actually, that would be quite funny.
No, it
you know, all the others, they would be like King Caspian, the Noble, and all these things, and then there's just Slutfucker 13.
Yeah, but I actually think they also, with character creation, they're also going to get a name generator, which actually should be out very soon. Oh. They've said like very early in this year there's going to be a name generator that you can pop in, and then based on what tribe you want to play, it's going to give you a last name so that you can connect with. Oh, so you can't choose your own name? I'm not sure, because I read through it, but I'm not sure if it actually gives you a name or you can like... So it can't be Slutfucker 13? I think Slutfucker 13 is like on the restricted section. And his noble son, Bitch Slapper 94. But yeah, I think they're trying to stay clear of that. Yeah. Because it would kind of ruin the immersion. It would ruin the immersion, yeah, and it would take a lot of the role playing out of it. Like, yeah. Our noble and gracious lord. Slutfucker 13 calls for your aid. Nah, I'm like, nah. No, I'm good. No, I'm good. Thank you, though. The big twist is he's actually very respectful of women. That's the big thing. He actually hates sluts. No. Yes, he hates. Oh, he hates all of prostitution as a business. Yeah. He's actually he's actually going against. That's why he's called Slutfucker. That's because he fucks up the slut industry. The slut industry. Yeah. And sluts. No. Yes. That's the women. Yeah, but he hates sluts. He's like Jack the Ripper. Well, that's not good. And it's like a very extreme form of vigilante. Indeed. Or some would call it serial murders. That's actually dependent on if prostitution is legal or not. True. Yeah. Murder is still murder. Murder is still murder, but yeah. Fuck it. I like Slutfucker 13. Yeah. All right. I like him. He fucks up sluts. If I'm ever gonna, if it's possible, that's gonna be my first character. Perhaps it's gonna be something like he's called something like SLOUT. Slout. That's his first name, and then PHOCKER for the last name. Slowfucker. You're such an idiot. So we're not gonna play together. The noble clan of Fucker. Yeah. Oh my god. It's kind of like the movie, you know. So that's another upside to your characters dying. You will not be named Slutfucker forever. Well, the clan name of Fucker will keep existing. But yeah, I guess you Slutfucker the second. Yeah. Oh, that's horrible. You know, people see the name and they're like, Sloat? No, Slot. Slot. So you read a bit about the lore. Do you maybe want to? Yeah, a brief bit. It's just something like they've really delved into the religions. It seems like, and what the different religions stand for, and you know the tenets of the religion, how prayer is done, and all these things. Yeah. And as well, they've delved into the tribes. It's actually funny because when I saw this game, it seemed more like medieval. Yeah. I thought clans, which aren't quite tribes. Tribes seems more barbarian themed. Yeah, like Stone Age kind of thing. But that's just interesting. I'm quite interested to see what they're actually going to do with these different tribes. And it seems like there's quite a lot. Yeah, I think tribes is maybe another word for races.
Clans.
Or,
Yeah,
I would say races.
Yeah,
actually.
races. That's right. They've also actually put some pictures of some of the tribes up, which we'll put in the video.
Fuck.
But so that's actually one of the other things where you can actually see they're making progress.
Yeah.
And they've also added some events. It seems like seasonal events in the game.
Yeah, that's true.
Which are called the Queen's Gaze and the Long Night.
Yeah.
These are like constellar
Constellations.
constellar events. You know, events regarding the constellations.
Okay.
I
got you.
And they're actually hinting that there's gonna be quite a lot more.
Yeah. I mean, it is gonna be. They are going for this game where tradition and like
there's quite the history.
And history is a big part of it, which I absolutely love.
It's gonna be quite interesting, and
and it sucks so much ass that I can expect a release in like end of 2019.
You know, that's how I felt about Spider-Man, the game.
Yeah, that's true.
They still haven't got a release, and they showed it E3 2016.
Yeah. And which looked awesome.
It looked awesome, but then in 2017 here they showed actual gameplay.
Yeah.
I can't understand why they actually.
I mean, just as you said with Watch Dogs, maybe it's because it's not as polished as.
No,
as
I'm just gonna say they teased it in 2016 with Spider-Man. Didn't show anything.
No.
Then they went a whole year until they actually showed demo. I was like, why didn't you just announce it in 2017? This is ridiculous.
Yeah, it is annoying sitting and waiting for games.
Yeah.
But like in cases with Chronicles of Elyria, it's just something you have to do, because if this hadn't been funded, it would never have been made.
True. That's different with crowdfunding games.
Yeah.
You also usually have to have some kind of concept, which they also did. You need to show something.
And they did.
Yeah.
Yeah, they actually had. I think actually they had like almost like footage ready. But yeah, that was like a brief. I don't. Do you have any more?
They kind of promised that they would perhaps release some webcomics or animatics.
They actually already have.
Yeah, but more webcomics and animatics, which is animation cinematics.
Wow.
Wow.
Revolutionary.
Yeah. About the lore in the game.
Yeah.
During 2018.
And as of talking as I am, they actually already
you are.
They actually already put one out, which is a good start, I would say. Which is about the enemy you don't see.
Okay.
Which is about two different like races, animal races.
Cool. Wasn't that one of the interesting things about this game? They did the thing where they
Ursafant.
Yeah. They took two creatures, put them together, and that's the creature, right?
Yeah, that's at least that's the Ursafant.
I think they did quite a lot. It was just it was a theme that occurred throughout the animal races.
I agree that maybe one or two actually, two or three actually was like just mashups
of different animals.
Yeah. But this is about this new. Actually, you can just go see it. It's 1 minute and 20 seconds long, so it won't take a large chunk out of your day. But it's a lot. It's about the Dryads.
No,
Dryas elk.
Oh,
so sort of elk that has a fucking massive antler.
Nice.
All of them, it appears. That's weird. But
that's just one of the points. They're going to release more webcomics and cinematics, kind of like.
And I think that's a good idea to like get like go on more platforms, because as of now they have the only thing they have on the YouTube is like Q&A.
They actually had they did a speed run, I remember. In a mine.
That's like PAX 2016, I think.
Yeah.
Where they speed ran a mine through, which was also kind of fun.
Yeah. They actually showed that parkour was going to be quite a big thing in the game.
At least could be. But yeah, this like so you can immerse yourself in the world and see like the landscapes and the different creatures and stories. I think that's a phenomenal idea.
Yeah. Should we? Are we done talking about the recent news? And should we perhaps talk about what we think of all these things?
I would like that. So if you are the critical one.
I think you should start.
I think you think I should start.
Yeah.
So you want to know what I think of this development?
And what's happened since we last talked about the game?
Well, since we last talked, the release was set to end 2017, but we both knew that wouldn't happen. We were like probably a year more or something like that. I can't remember. Well, we were like pretty sure this is not going to happen. With all the things that they want to do, this is not going to happen. I am very pleased to see that first of all they haven't like further extended it, so it's like okay, now it's 2022 or something. But they also like said we are not releasing in 2018 or 2019. They haven't like set a date because they know that there are too many factors right now to play in to give an actual.
And it's dangerous to give a date because then
you're
committed.
Because then you actually have a deadline, and deadlines are not fun.
No, especially not in game development because things can get delayed and things you're unsatisfied with other things. So
just as we saw, I mean, an update can happen and then all of your code can be useless.
And I think a lot of people are actually very pro the thought of just releasing the game when you think the game's finished.
Yeah.
Instead of just pushing it out when it's appropriate.
Yeah. So in that content, I am pleased and happy. Of course, it sucks that I can't sit.
Wait.
I have to wait, but I think that's just That's what that's just I gotta accept that.
Well, we can have the whole discussion of Infinity War, which we've known has been a thing for what
10 years,
almost 10 years. No, after the first Avenger, that was the big one. And that was in 2012.
Okay, so that's 6 years.
But 6 years, that's a long ass waiting time.
Yeah. And it's gonna come out this year, the first one.
May, I think.
I'm excited. Alright. As of the the gameplay footage and like how they go about telling us stuff, again, pleased. The dev journals are really insightful. They tell us like
they seem to share quite a lot.
They share quite a lot, and they hold very little back. I mean, gameplay footage, of course, I would love to see more. They haven't that much out.
No. But again, it's still in the very early stages.
It's pre-alpha, so it's it's. I would say I can accept that. That hasn't been like splashed out on the YouTube page, for example.
True.
Yeah. Is there any other like category you want me to go in on?
No, this is your personal opinion. I'm not going to dictate what you're going to say.
Just, if you thought I like needed like an insight.
Well, we already talked about the second Kickstarter campaign.
That sucked.
Which wasn't good, but it seems like people are still putting their faith into this game despite the second campaign.
Yeah. But I mean, you haven't been following it as rapidly as I have.
Like I said, I've actually watched them do the what do you call it, the speed run in the mine and things like that. I think I'm more optimistic now.
Okay.
Because more things have actually released and they've shown more info and they actually talked about the world and all these things. And I actually think it's quite good that they've been this open about the whole spatial OS thing. That they actually told people, well, this has taken a long time because we had to sever ties with this operating system we used to use. Yeah. I think that's good. Transparency is a good thing. So I'm actually more optimistic. Yeah. Again, I think this is a game, and we kind of had. Let me finish. And we actually had this discussion about VR. I think this is a game which will only cater to a certain audience.
Agree.
And that's always, it's a good thing because certain people are absolutely gonna love it.
Yeah.
But I think it's also a dangerous thing.
Yeah, because is that base big enough to support the game?
Yeah, and that's one of the big things.
Yeah.
I really liked, like I said, I like the idea about magic. Because it's something like you can really strive to get for. It's a personal goal.
Yeah.
But again, there's going to be people like, well, why can't I do this?
Yeah.
That's unfair.
Yeah.
I can't put 20 hours a week into this.
No.
Something like this. So it's gonna be quite polarizing. And it was the same with World of Warcraft in the beginning.
Yeah.
There were these events.
Like the first, before any patch ever came out, I think it was like, wasn't it like 2 or 3% who actually saw in game?
It wasn't a lot, and items like Ateish, the Staff of the Guardian, is really, really rare because not a lot of people completed it, and you can't get it anymore.
No.
And the Scarab event, which is quite famous in World of Warcraft, these were really big things they did, but the Call of the Scarab event was quite polarizing. People either loved it or hated it. So I really like when people are taking risks. It's a good thing.
Yeah.
And it absolutely makes these incredible events and these incredible games that you can really look forward to. But I'm also a bit
skeptical.
Yeah, just a bit. Because again, the second Kickstarter campaign wasn't a good thing. Possibly they could actually do a third. And I don't think they're going to do a third Kickstarter campaign.
No.
But it's a possibility. Because they see, again, this is the thing about ambition and reality. And I think they have a lot of ambition.
Yeah.
If all of these things they're talking about can actually be reality, I'm not certain.
No.
And I think that's the biggest.
There's still the fear of this becoming like a Star Citizen project where they just keep implementing and never will release it.
And not even that, them pulling a Molyneux. I think we talked about this the last time. Really talking about the game, and they have this idea in their head, but on paper it can't be. It
can't be done.
No. And I think that's the biggest thing I fear for this game.
Yeah.
That they're too ambitious, especially because they have a lot of veterans making the game.
Yeah.
But this is the studio's first game. It's a big task.
Yeah. I would also say it's very ambitious, but
again, it's cool they're taking risks.
Yeah, sometimes ambition works, you know.
And they have a loyal fan base.
Very loyal fan base.
I actually think, I hope this game is gonna be good.
Yeah.
That's what I'm gonna end with.
Yeah. I was in the county of Trellast.
Trellast.
So yeah, it was.
Which
like,
kingdom?
No, it was like a mini game.
Oh, I see. But I'm really excited to see what this game becomes, and I would be really excited too when it actually releases to see what people who haven't heard of it think of it.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of like when Divinity 2 came out this year.
Yeah.
There were a lot
of people who didn't know
of the first game.
Yeah.
And
I think this could have the same effect that the fan base that is now will just massively blow up or like stay the same because people don't understand what it's about. And I think actually that's actually something I forgot I wanted to talk about. I think actually it's a problem that they the backers and those who follow it actually have this like it's gonna be probably about 3 years
this knowledge,
this waiting period where we like slowly suck in knowledge, and then the new players who's just gonna go smack down in the middle of it. I think that's gonna be difficult. So I think it's gonna be difficult to like when the release finally happens to like gather a big audience, simply because us who follow it from now until release will just be so much more immersed in the game from the start.
That's true. I actually think it's a point we can make when we played Monster Hunter.
Oh my god!
And I actually thought the game was quite good. I really liked the combat and such, but there was such an overload of information.
Yeah, the menu was so confusing.
There was so many menus and such, so it was really, really confusing.
Yeah. And it was like open world, but it wasn't open world because you had to catch this one prey and you had 20 minutes to do it.
Yeah, I didn't like the time limit.
Not at all.
But again, that was just, you know.
I mean, it was a beta. So it probably will be, hopefully will be removed.
But I could really feel I didn't know anything about the game when I went into it. And I think it's actually quite good, like when you're watching movies, going into the movie or the game not knowing anything.
Yeah.
Because then you can be swayed by the game.
Yeah.
But it didn't help us in Monster Hunter.
Not at all. Jesus Christ. We played like, 2 hours and then we were like...
I think more like 3 or 4, but...
Did we play them?
Yeah.
I was very frustrated with it. But yeah. if you want to, I think we're done.
I think we're done.
Yeah. So I would say if you want to know more about this Chronicles of Elyria, go to their YouTube page where they have where they not very much recently, but are very good at throwing out Q&As where they explain the new stuff they've been implementing. They also have some cinematics.
And all these things.
And pre-alpha and animals just being in nature. So I would say that's definitely something you can do. You can also go into their website.
The dev journal is quite thorough.
Very thorough, and it's just chroniclesofelyria.com. I actually don't know. You don't have to sign up to get into the website?
No, I don't think so.
So you can just go into the website, and then you can see the community, the forums where everyone is talking about everything. The dev journals, which I would say is very good to get a feel of the game and where it is as of now. If you haven't gotten it from here.
True.
And
and if you want to talk with us, you can leave a comment on the YouTube video.
Yeah.
And you can actually also join our Discord server if you want to.
Yeah.
Which is called Kobna and Locks. Simply. Never, I fucked up. It's simply called Kobna and Locks.
Yeah.
Where we would like to chat with some of our subscribers to kind of get a bond with you guys and such.
So you can leave a link to that, can't you?
I will.
You will. Very done. Well.
I was about to say I won't.
I won't. So I think that's us signing off.
Yeah, thank you for listening / watching.
Yeah, if you have anything else you would like us to discuss, just leave a comment. Maybe leave a like. That would be greatly appreciated.
And if you're interested in more of our content, please subscribe.
Yeah. Please.
I guess that's it.
Bye.
Bye.